Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another live stream. Marvelous. And how is the chat? How is the chat? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I am fantastic. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Excuse me whilst I turn that down. I'm just going to save that to watch later. Sorry. How are we all? Are we okay? What's happening? Do you all want to tell me what you've been wearing today? Before I start saying hello to people? Excuse me. I've got this sort of frog in my throat. It's been there for fucking about a week, 2 weeks. I don't know why. I haven't got the vid. I hope I haven't got the vid. Let's see what people are saying. Pradeep. Oh dear. Hello, Michael John. How are you? Christoph, hello. You'll be going to bed soon, are you? You've got an hour left, I think. Shiva Vareen, hello. Hello, world. And hello to you. Christoph is doing all right. And I am doing all right as well. Michael John says, I'm doing great. It's my day off. Oh, no wonder you're doing great. It's my day off and I'm contemplating blind buying Amouage Royal Tobacco. I've heard a few people mention that. Excuse me. If Mr. Chong was still there, I'd be buying that shit up. Blind myself, probably. But Mr. Samon hasn't inspired much confidence yet, and I think they've discontinued one of Mr. Chong's releases as well recently. So I don't know. I don't want to say they're trying to erase him because, that's silly. They can't. He built the brand up from. He made them famous outside of Oman. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know that they're trying to erase him, but they are. I just think that something's happening. Something's changing, and people don't like change. Anyway, MJ, hello. Hello, MJ. Scent of the day, Oligarch. The 7.5 mil tester. I would have kept that if I were you. Get one and keep it sealed because Oligarch, they're going to be changing the name. That is not a fashionable name at the minute, is it? Do you know what I mean? The oligarchs have fallen very much out of favor. Not to worry. Scent of the day says Te Autre Fresh, says Pradeep. Christoph put some Jubilation 25 on after my shower earlier. Nice. Shiva Vareen says scent of the day Imperial Musk and Attar from Maison Anti-Marmar. Excuse me. Scent of the day Imperial Musk and Attar from Maison Anthony Marman layered with Musk Khabib, says Shiva. Spy and Masher agrees about Amouage. Fosco says, sound like everyone is doing great. Wearing Bracken Man today. There's a lot of Amouage kicking about. Drawn by Sense says, hello. Hello to you. Got a bit of Issey Miyake or Oranson on at the moment. I haven't smelled that. Actually, I might have smelled that. Legoise says, hey, Rich Mitch. Hey, Rich, or is it just Mitch from now on? Earlier convo. No, it'll always be Rich Mitch. My first name is actually Richard. So Rich rhymes with Mitch. So it's Rich Mitch. It will always be Rich Mitch unless I change my name, which I'm not going to. Bring back Chong, says Spy and Mash. I think a lot of people agree with that. Flora Note is singing my name. Fosco says Figment Myths imitation are being discontinued. That's 3. Maybe they're the ones that don't smell. I heard it was one of the really popular fucking ladies ones as well that was getting rid of. Maybe it's one of them is a popular ladies one. Jura Rose says hello to me. Lego West, scent of the day, Vintage Derby. Just had to, you rascal. We got Vintage Derby, have you? Outrageous. I've got a little 30ml bottle of it, like, it's fucking great. It's like a mini that, it's a mini that, I don't even know if it's 30ml, you know, it might be 20 or 15. But a new scent is it. Give us it for nothing. Hello, Jura, says Christoph. Jura Rose says we hid Oligarch in the shop, Rich. Yes. Yes, I imagine you did. Scent of the evening, MFK's A-Pom. Says Spy and Mash. Did I sell you A-Pom? Why do I think that? Pradeep says, girl on, oud call. Cherry oud, oud nude. Exciting, right? Right? No. Wrong. Shite. They just make me feel ill. Just the sound of them. Hello, Rizard. How are you? Rizard, I know you're in Poland, right? But I managed to get a sample of Eugene's fragrance out to Germany and Slovakia. So if you want me to try and send you a sample of it to Poland, right, let us know, and I will put my email address in the chat, and you can get in touch with us. And if you send us your address, I'll send you one out, mate. Michael John says, change your name to Rich Mitch Fragrance. Nah, I'm Rich Mitch now. I'm Rich Mitch forever. It is my name. Bosco says, Fate Woman, I think. It's brilliant. Yeah, loads of people go on it. Is that the Rose one? Loads of people talk about that one, saying it's brilliant for men. What's good, everyone, says Bry. Hello, Bry. That little 30ml Derby, best version. That's right. Spy and Mash, yes. Well, I hope you're enjoying it. I think it sounds like you are. Bry is saying Baduck. Scent of the day is La Frenchie. Ah, like the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He wears that. Christophe Rose, Lily Rose. Legoise says, Fosco, Fate Woman, just gorgeous. Have you tried Salam? Christoph says, has my email reached you? Yes, it has, mate. I screenshotted it and forwarded it to Eugene. And I think he prefers the original email. So I think he's going to use that one if it's okay. Rizard says, sure, no problem. Hold on, then I will put my email in the chat. Please let me know when you've got my email so I can delete it. Floral Note says, I thought about just going by Lily on here now. I think it's too late. Floral Note is too distinctive now. Yeah, I think once you've developed your like your online persona, then it's best to just keep going with it, like evolution rather than revolution, you know? Lyric is the rose. Fate smells similar to vintage opium. Okay, I've got vintage opium. Lyric's the rose, is it? I'm going to try that one. I'm a big rose fan. I'm thinking about getting Rose Tobacco or Tobacco Rose by Papillon. Liz Moores. Haha, says Christoph. Whatever he prefers is fine. The first one is certainly more authentic. No problem. I think that's the way he felt like. I think that's what he's going for. I think he would rather just have like unfiltered opinion. So the first one was really good. Jura says, Fosco, do you prefer lyric man or lyric woman? Rizard says, I've got. Good man. I shall remove my email so weird people don't get it. Rizard is not weird people. Rizard is good people. Floral note says, Bob, still don't know what you prefer me to call you by. Herb. Did you see those waves in Hawaii that went over the houses? That was crazy shit. Big waves. Don't live on the beachfront if you want to stay dry anyway. Like always says to Fosco, I had a feeling you would have. You must have tried more bait and under my skin, all in that area. I have been pushed towards smelling more bait on skin. I think I'm going to do that. I might do that now, actually. I've got Eugene's fragrance on one hand. I've got Paris Biarritz on the other hand. So I will have to put more bait on my forearm. If you give us 2 seconds, that's what I'm going to do. Hold on a second. Ooh! Where have I put it? Where have I put it? Yes. A few moments, please. Where are you? Get over here. That's not it. That's not it either. Although that is Secret Scarab. Oh, what are you in here? So that's not them. Oh, there they are. Thank God I found them at last. My Betty, where are you? That's MX. Nightflower, Scorpio Rising, my bait. Where are we? There we are, my bait. Right, whoever was trying to get us to spray it on skin, I have now sprayed it on skin. Woof. Oof. What? Right, hold up. So let's have a look. Bonjour, Lil, and all. Anything. Bob is fine, but not BO. Fosco says to Jura, both are 2 of my favorites from the house. I always liked Lyric Man, but wore Lyric Woman yesterday. I can't decide. FCM says, yeah, buddy. Thank God he said forearm. It's quite creamy on skin. My bait will take over everything. It's a little bit creamy. animalic musky furry. It's a lot rounder on skin than it is on paper. Drawn by Scent says, hi Rich, I tried sending an email a few days ago to that address. Not sure if it worked though. Might have done. I don't know. I haven't checked my spam folder. Do you want to email us again? Tell us like what your YouTube name is as well, so I recognize you. FCM is wearing Eau de Hermes. Nice. Lego East. Fosco says to Lego East, yes, Under My Skin is a little too much for me, but Mob Bait is a winner. Reminds me of Antaeus just as much as Koros. Must be Castorium. Rizad says, thanks, Robert. All fine. Dino Baggio says, hi, Dino. I sent you your sample today, mate. You should be getting it tomorrow. If not the day after. Antonio Hobson is here. Hello. Drawn by Sense says, okay, Tar. Sorry about that, Drawn by Sense. Fantastic, says Fosco. So, yes, yesterday I was in the department store and I took, what did I took? I took in my Eris Parfum set and I took in my Naomi Goodsir Parfum set, sample set, sorry. And I sat with a friend who works on one of the brands. I shan't say his name because you never know who's listening. He might be listening, to be fair. Hello. I shall have to ask him if it's okay to reveal his identity online, but I shan't be doing it until I've spoken to him anyway. And we sat and smelled some of all the samples and stuff, him and his co-worker, and they were really like intrigued. I took those Les Indomptables Grand Crus as well. That's such an outrageous talking point. The minty one's outrageous. The minty one will clear you out. If you've got like a blocked up nose or something, the minty one will just clear that shit out straight away. It's crazy. Fantastic stuff though. What was I gonna say? Yes, anyway, after we'd done all of that, I went to Tom Ford, and Tom Ford did not have any tobacco oud in stock, only in 50ml, and I wanted the 100. And the kid was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, well, it's not your fault, but shit. Proper nightmare. So it's getting discontinued. The 100ml is getting discontinued next year. Spoke to a couple of the sales associates and they were like, yeah, we've had it confirmed. The last day they were allowed to display it or sell it, I think it's like the 28th of January 2023. So disaster. It's one of the only fragrances I've ever finished a bottle of, whilst I've had a massive collection, which should tell you about how much I wear it. Shit. And then I went to MFK and bought myself a backup of Lumiere Noir. And I went to Chanel and bought myself a bottle of Paris Biarritz, which I did an unboxing of today. It's nice. I like Paris Biarritz. It's really good. But the high heat last week made us realize that, oh shit, I haven't got much stuff I can actually wear in the highest of high heat. So I thought I better sort of pull something out my arse and fucking get something bought. Bob says, last Monday, Tuesday, could someone go to the ocean and cool off in the sea waist deep, or is it too cold? I mean, it'd be going from the ridiculous to the sublime because the water would be cold. I couldn't get into the water though. I've got to be very fucking careful what I get up to. Like I can't burn. Like I've got to be really careful about getting sunburned because I'm on that funky medication. Like so, best to just stay in the fucking house. Thank God for the internet. FCM says few more months and we'll be back to the tobacco hoods and Balenciagas. It's about fucking 5 or 6 weeks away for me. 1st of September is the day. It's one of the most wonderful days of the year when I rotate back to the autumn winter rotation. Dino says, thanks, Rich, you're a legend. That is true. Ah, Rezed, you've already got the Deliric squeeze. Oh, I don't need to send you a sample. Did you buy it from that place in France? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Natalia, I beg your pardon. Take me to church, Eugene says FCM. Germ says, hello, Rich. Sent of the day, 5 o'clock, Au Gingembre by Serge. Great fragrance. Drawn by Scent says, hello, floral notes. No, originally just from just north of London. Rachel is here and she is listening in while she drives. Enrique Vasquez says, hi, Mitch. How are you today? How is your climate? Climate is much better, much more normal. It was pouring with rain. It was raining hard earlier. I could barely hear myself think. It was incredible. But yes, the climate was much better today. Thank you very much. How are you? I'm all right. Thank you for asking. FCM says, you have Cologne Indelible, Mitch. High heat. Yes, that and Cologne Royale as well by Dior. I never thought of it. Never thought of it because it's not at the front of my collection. Today I wore something outrageous. I wore Very Valentino, and it's lovely. It's a lovely lavender fragrance. I'm sure it's got sandalwood in it as well. Another Italian lavender sandalwood perfume. Beautiful thing. High heat, power, Kenzo. Great match, says Lego East. I always found Power by Kenzo to be very floral. Unbearable heat out here in California, says FCM. Yeah, I can imagine. You're right next to a desert there, aren't you? That's fucking hotter than the sun. I couldn't hack it. Lego East says, put your sat-nav voice on, Rich. Get Rachel to take a left. Outrageous. Ryan D says, hello, everyone. Sent of the day, food absinthe. Foo. Good evening, Richard Mitchard. Shut up, Galen. What's happening? Has anyone here listened to the latest episode of the Les Audrins podcast? They are talking about Eugene's fragrance on it. I have Cologne Royale, says FCM. It's good sauce. It's bloody good stuff with Cologne Royale. I won't be able to buy another bottle of it, will I? Because it's been discontinued. Now they're bringing back, what's it called? Cologne Blanche. Drawn by Scent says, yes, been dipping into some less summery things already now it's cooled down in the UK. It's been chilly a couple of times and wet. Yes. Being lectured about high heat from a Brit. This world is nuts, says Bob. Yes, that's what's happening. To be fair, anything over 21 or 22 is high heat in Britain. Natalia says, my scent of the day is Fate Woman on top of Gold Man. Outrageous. Natalia says, I could not resist. There is no need to resist. Go with the feeling. Fosco says, I'll take the dry heat over this humidity. Oh, humidity's rotten, isn't it? There's nothing worse. It's vile out there, I tell you. Absolutely vile. Antonio Hobson says, California's hot. Even in Oakland. We usually have London weather about 65 to 80, but being hot. Scent of the day, French lover. FCM says, Mr. Smelly pressures me to pay up to speak up. No, there's none of that here. Say what you want to say and I'll read it out. Natalia says, what is that podcast where they talk about Eugene's creation? I will tell you. It is called Les Odorants. I've put it in the chat, and you can just go, you can either put it into Google or whatever your search provider is, or you can go to everywhere that podcasts are found. Spotify, what's the other one? Spotify, there is Apple, like, I don't know, Napster, whatever anybody wants to use. FCM says about 40 Celsius. Yeah, that is punishment. Like always says, thank heavens there's an F in that first one and a J in the second. Not a good image. FCM says, I just prefer humidity over dry desert heat, but that's just me. Most seem to go the other way. Humidity is just oppressive, though. It's like being covered with a wet blanket. So you feel like you're carrying extra weight. You know, feel as though you're swimming rather than like walking. Natalia says, thanks. That's quite all right. Hello, Paroli. How are you? Ryan says, Natalia, I've been strongly considering a blind buy of Gold Man. How do you like it? I used to have the original Gentleman's Cologne, which is what turned into Gold Man. And while it was extremely high quality, the fragrance just wasn't for me. Sold it to Audrey Jane, who thoroughly enjoys it, like. She's buzzing. I've been trying to get Audrey Jane to make some more videos. I'm not sure how game she is. Outrageous. Afternoon all, says Micah Showmaker. Afternoon. Hi, Rich. Hi, Sean. FCM says dry heat feels like an oven. Lily says she misses Audrey. I miss Audrey as well. Alan Hansen says, greetings to all you odor addicts. Scent of the day is Himalayan Woods by Amorud. Never heard of it, but greetings to you, Alan Hansen. Gira Bear considers Gold Man his swan song. Putin's signature scent, says FCM. It wasn't Gold Man. Originally, it was called Gentleman's Cologne. And it was released in 1984 or something like that. Woof. Where is Audrey, says FCM. I don't know. Antonio says dry, better than humid. Excuse me. Natalia says to Ryan, I like it, the powderiness, the animalics, the luxury, but I wish it projected a tad more. It lasts on close, but you have to look for it after a few hours, so... Where's Ryan D? Food absinthe. Fosco says, I always feel underdressed in gold, man, but I love the way it smells. You've got to get the gentleman's cologne, mate. Just buy it. Just pay the money. It's fucking exceptional. Sean says, tried some Electimus perfume today. Anybody know anything about that brand? Apparently it's an English brand. You know, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. Pradeep says, tower prices have been raised in France. Cheaper on his site. Mate, tower fragrances have been raised across the board, mate. Every time they have to, the next time everywhere restocks, the prices are going up. In some cases, 40%. Natalia says, Ryan tried first. I found it has that Amouage DNA. Pat Lester says, hello, Rich. Hello, Pat. What's the scent of the day? Mine is Shipper Azural. My scent of the day is Very Valentino, a vintage designer. It's not a classic, but it's sought after. And the people who like it love it. Obviously, I've got a couple. Fosco, that's exactly what I've wondered it would be like most of the time. I've heard it's very regal. Anoush is here. Welcome, Anoush. Speaking of vintage classics. Greetings, perfume peeps. Hope everyone had an awesome weekend. It was better for being colder. Alan says, so, tire prices are towering. Oh, very good. Bob says, animalics are no more, and it is so great perfumery, and so is great perfumery. I am convinced, especially after watching second Russian Adam vid. Outrageous. Yes, Ramsey did a Russian Adam interview, a second one, but this one was live for the people. And the people loved it. Very interesting interview, very, very good. Rowley says, not only is the price going up, but stock is dwindling. Big houses having difficulty keeping even mainstream designers in stock. Yes, that's right. Chanel are struggling. Chanel can't get the new Paris back into stock quick enough. Talia says, Ryan, it's something I like to sit down with, like a glass of good whiskey. Eugene. We were just talking about you. Sort of. FCM says, is Narciso Parfum redundant to Valentino? Can you expand on that? Because I don't know what you mean. Yeah, buddy. Eugenius is here. Bob says, animalics trigger the subconscious, and in my opinion, that's what it's all about. Today, everything has to be out in your face. Yeah, there's no mystery anymore. Shit. Eugene risotto's clad in your sauce today, by the way. That's right. Risotto is clad in your sauce. I can't wear Eugene's perfume until he lists it on Fragrante, because that's how I keep track of what I've worn for the weekly rotation. March, you know what? Ah, beautiful people listening in while I work. Welcome. It must only be about 12:30 where you are. Bosco says, ciao, Eugene. Oh, so yesterday, after I bought my fragrances, I decided to go and have a loiter over by Diptyque. And Diptyque, Diptyque have a new fragrance called Ilio. And I smelled Ilio, and it was good. It was a good iris fragrance at the top. I really enjoyed it. But, double but, big but. The top is a lovely iris, and the mid is a lovely iris, but the dry down is just a watery, salty, marine, aquatic thing. And it's boring, to be honest. It's boring in the dry down. Who would have thunk it from a Diptyque? But that's what it was. You know? So, who knows? I don't think I'll be buying that, but I was impressed with it for like the first half hour, 45 minutes. Then it just turned to meh, you know, pretty boring. I then travelled over to the Killian stall, and the lady at Killian was absolutely lovely with us. She was absolutely lovely. And she gave me a handful of samples of Killian's. So I'm going to do some Killian first impressions. There's lots of different stuff she gave us. Because like Killian and Marl are sort of like similar. Like, I think they're under the same umbrella. So word must have got out that I have bought the Moon and the Night. And they were like, look, I know you're a good punter, so I'll just give you like loads of samples if you want. You can try and just see what you like. Because I know you're not here just taking the piss trying to get samples. So I was like, oh, thanks very much. So I'm going to do a little sample series on some Killians to see how we all feel. Well, see how I feel. But apparently they've just had a massive price increase, which is an absolute sickener. So there we are. Gross. Whoa. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Oh, I might hydrate again. I will hydrate again. Oh. Shall we see which Killian samples she gave me? Whoa. There's a bag full. An absolute bag full. So, the ones she gave me are Intoxicated. What are you called? Angel Share. I can't make out what that says. Moonlight in Heaven. Moonlight in Heaven again. Straight to Heaven. Straight to Heaven to see the moonlight. Straight to Heaven again. Vodka on the Rocks. Vodka on the Rocks again. And another Straight to Heaven. So that's, just give us a few double samples. We'll try them out and see what we think. I've already got some Black Phantom. So that should be quite interesting to sample. Fragrance Journey at the workhouse, but stopped in to show some love, brother. Thank you, mate. It's always nice to see Fragrance Journey. Fragrance Journey made a video yesterday about music for a while. He's got 19 Frederick Malle fragrances. Now that's got to be nearly all of them. Miss Margie After Dark. Well, well. It's Caillou is here. Welcome, Caillou, with the turtle. Well, look who it is. It's me. And you. Hi, Lily and all. It's only 12:40 p.m. here. Oh, work day. FJ, Cruiser the Bruiser. Alan says, I just checked on Fragrantica. That diptyque scent Lilo appears to have no base notes. How odd. That's strange. Ilio, sorry, not Lilo. Ilio. It just smelled like a slightly aquatic marine sort of thing in the base, to be honest, like the dry down, which it started off really well, actually. Spine Mass is shite. Nice bottles, though. Alan, I tried that one. His was okay. Julian Raskin gifted Demi the Moon. Lol. I hope that's a joke. You will attract the mosquitoes with Killian. Oh. They should stick to whiskey. Who Hennessy? The names of some of their perfumes are ludicrous. Or the were. I don't know that the ludicrous ones are still out. But yeah. Bob, I want a Land Cruiser, says FCM. "31 days of reviews by Rich in August," says Lily. Absolutely not. Dino says, I don't mind Straight to Heaven, but they're overpriced. Yeah, they're massively overpriced. Prices are silly. Oh, save your money, says Bob. Get an IWC. I don't know what that means. Antonio Hobson says, I've never tried any Killian's perfumes. Any good? There's a few of them that are good, but I don't know that any of them are actually worth the price. The original Apple Brandy is meant to be amazing. There's meant to be a couple of other ones that are meant to be really good as well. I'm getting a sample of, well, I've bought a sample of Peter's newest perfume that is going to be released soon. So I don't know what I am going to think of that. I'm hoping it arrives tomorrow. That'll be good. Killian does things more on the gourmand side, right? Yeah, that's not a bad shout. It feels like that. It feels like that, yeah. Natalia says, I'm from Poland. Give me the vodka. It's a great mystery detective name, Marge, says Bob. FCM says, intoxicated Phantom single malt Straight to Heaven on my remaining Killian's. They're all like Parfum de Marly before Parfum de Marly was Parfum de Marly. Do you know one of the worst perfumes I've ever smelled in my entire life was a Parfum de Marly, if not the worst. Hard to think of anything worse than this one. It was called Ispazon. And it was absolutely woeful. It smelled like Reactor 4. Do you know what I mean? It was awful. It was chronic. I got a sample off Greggy Boy, and it's not Greggy Boy's fault that it was rubbish. It was just a bad perfume. Dear me. And do you know how most perfumes, right? Like if we're being honest, right, we'll say that stuff's rubbish sometimes, and we'll say that like, you know, we don't like stuff and we'll slow at stuff and take the mick out of stuff and that, you know, we'll take the piss. But Ispa's on. But like most perfumes, if not all perfumes, usually have like the smell pleasant, you know? They smell all right. They smell like they don't smell unpleasant. Ispa's on genuinely smelled like radiation poisoning. It was bloody awful. Absolutely appalling. Dear me. Alan says, I have a few Killian special blends, enhanced with oud, which I enjoy, but in general, I find Killian perfumes as quite weak and watery. I've never thought about that. Never thought about their performance like that. Cheryl West Boyd. Mitch, what up, bro? Hey, man. How you doing? I hope you're well, Cheryl. You look well. Bobo. Oh, gotcha. Hang on, someone knocking. Someone's at Margie's door. Someone's knocking at the door. Antonio Hobson. Thank you. Thank you, Antonio. Caillou says Ilio stole my prickly pear top note. Well, not that I perfected one or anything. Caillou, have you been working on some perfume, have you? With some prickly pear? How interesting. I just got like what did I got from it? I got like a quite a nice iris. I think it was a synthetic iris though. Is that Audrey Jane I see lurking at the base? You've been talking about you, Audrey Jane, saying that you should be encouraged to make a video. She has an unboxing to do, and everybody wants to see it. Oh, excuse me whilst I hydrate. Flora Note says, no, those long-winded ones are discontinued. I like long-winded. Cognac, says FCM. Fosco says, heard Ashton say that Galleria gave a fragrance he was working on to Navitus under another YouTuber's name. Glad he got out of that. Yeah, I don't know that he's... I don't know what's going on with Galleria. I tried them. Nothing I would buy, I must admit. I wasn't that impressed, to be fair. I get the feeling, though, that that's not necessarily... I think he had to work within certain constraints from a certain palette. It's not like he did it the way Eugene did it, where it was like all his. And like, that's just the impression I get, though I don't know this for a fact. But Ashton posted a story on his tab, and he had a bottle of Pavarotti. And I was like, ooh. Ashton's going to review Pavarotti soon. Excellent. I gave it the Mr. Burns treatment. I was like, put my hands together and started fidgeting my fingers, and I was like, excellent, yes. Spread the gospel. Nothing beats Baby Cat. I've smelled Baby Cat. It's not bad. Would I pay that kind of money? Not sure. Have you tried any Fulton Manly, Rich? No, I haven't, but I have heard of them and I'm interested. They've just changed their bottles. So I'm thinking they may have reformulated everything. That tends to be a rule of thumb. Alan Hansen, my mantra, if it's not on sale, go to hell. It almost rhymes. Go to hell. It's not on sale. Go to hell. Got to say it in that kind of accent. Drawn by Senses. Tried Killian Fun Things Always Happen After Sunset the other day. Quite green and fruity, says Drawn by Sense. Oh, that's such a bad name. The one about kissing and burning calories. That is just the worst name. I mean, it's so cheap. You know? It's so cheap. IWC is a watch brand. Big pilot. I genuinely didn't know that, Antonio. FCM says, lol, Fosco, Ash didn't push those things aggressively at all. Now it's onto the bow tie fragrance guy. Is that who's doing it now? I think I've seen him. Do you know, I've never watched any of his videos. It just doesn't, I don't know. I look at like the thumbnails. You know, I'll probably have, when I say I've never watched one of his videos, I probably have like seen a couple of them and just thought it's not really my side of Fragcom, that, so just leave him alone, do you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure he probably feels the same way about, well, he probably never even heard of me, you know? Pradeep says, Julian did actually gift her, not an official bottle though. Click seeing the thumbnail thinking, her taste has evolved, but no usual free bottle. Yeah. It's, yeah. That's all you need to say, really. Audrey Jane? Well, hello there. Hello, Audrey Jane. How are you? Rachel says, no longer driving. So, Killian's is interesting. As a som, I was immediately interested. I've only sampled 4 to 5. I'm not at all against synthetics, etc. in perfume. I love Chanel, don't I? But the way the Killian samples I smelled used ISO-E, Super Amber, Extreme, etc. was a huge turn off to me. Like bro clubbing frags. Thumbs down. So far from me. Always willing to give another chance. I like Black Phantom, I must admit. I do like that. It's got like a nutty sort of quality going on. I think it's got arsenic in it. Like, that's actually got arsenic in it. That's not what I'm saying. Well, that's what I said, but it's not what I meant. So it's got like the note of arsenic in it, you know, or cyanide. It's one of the two. And it smells quite like, you know, like cyanide comes from like almonds or nuts or something. It's got that kind of vibe to it. So that was really interesting. It's more bits, very much different on my skin anyway. So yes. Alan says, Natalia, I'm not a big vodka fan, but Polish vodkas are quite nice. Do you know, when I was a youth, when I was like 14, 15, I used to drink vodka neat, right? On a Friday night, half a litre of vodka every Friday night, sometimes Friday and Saturday night, right? And I never had a hangover. I never had a hangover. It was marvelous. One night, right, I drank a litre of cider and I was ruined until Monday. Absolutely mental. I don't drink anymore. Not because of the cider. I just don't drink now. I just didn't drink for years. It's just not my thing. It's too messy. I see you've been auditioning for the Rings of Power, Audrey, says Sean. Caillou says radiation poisoning, lol. That's how I feel about Montaloods. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a bit too much, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just a bit too much. Just feels like it's like getting in your ears, doesn't it? You know, when you smell a Montal, it's like, whoa, you can feel it in your ears. It's too much, mate, too much. Rachel, oh no, I've read that, sorry. FCM says, is Montal Intense Cafe worth the hype? Almost certainly not. Sean says, Profumum rum I make the best gourmands. I've got a couple of Profumum rum. I really think Arso's really good. Audrey says, Sean, my Middle-earth soldier. Haha, I'm not convinced by the trailers, I'm not going to lie. Rich, is somebody also ringing the bell? Ooh. I never heard the bell, but that's not beyond the realm of possibility, Alan. But somebody was knocking on the door. Margie hasn't come back yet, has she? I hope it wasn't too serious. Oh, come on, Audrey. They look amazing to me, says Sean. Drawn by senses, Alan, probably another haul arriving. I think I'm over the haul, like, I don't know if I'll be getting any more hauls. But I will be picking up the odd fragrance here and there. I'm trying to cut down. I'm trying to sort of, there's a couple of things I want to get. I just paid. So we have heating oil instead of being on like the gas grid where I live, because I live like in the fucking, well, I live off grid, sort of. And so we don't get like central heating paid for by gas or anything like that. We've got to get like oil delivered. And the price of oil has obviously been doing bits recently. And so I've waited for it to come down about 25% since like the war in the Ukraine. It's come down considerably recently. So I just fucking rang them up the other day and I was like, bye. It's arriving tomorrow. Spent fucking a lot of money getting the heating oil because it's going to be a bad winter. Like, not necessarily weather-wise, but like as far as political, economical, that's not a word, is it? Politically, economically, fucking all sorts. Putin's a shit. And he is a shit of the first water. The horrible man. Anyway, we'll move on, shall we? Swiftly. Rachel says, Montal Intense Cafe is a cool coffee scent, but they're overdosing of Isoe Super and Amber Extreme kind of synthetics gives me a migraine. So if it doesn't give you a migraine, lots of people like it. Yeah. I had Honey Oud, but I gave it away. Give it to Richie G. Richie G. I don't know if he's worn it yet, but we'll see. Audrey says, finally broken up from work for the summer. Last few months were very stressful. I hope you're okay too, love. Sean, we shall see. The trilogy was just so good. I have so many perfumes to unbox. I can see 5 in front of me unopened since April. How? How is that possible? How could you just not have unopened them? How could you have not opened them, even? I'll put my teeth in. FCM says, Rachel, I have enough Amber Extreme, I think. Well, thanks for the heads up. Audrey Jane, enjoy some time off. Yes, enjoy some time off, Audrey Jane. Put your feet up. Don't do anything for a week. Just relax. It's one of the best pieces of advice my physio ever gave is you have to actively relax. You have to try to relax. Relaxing is not just something you just like, because lots of people can just sit and do nothing and be stressed, you know? My physio was like, no, you have to like practice at relaxing. You have to actively actually like do it. And I was like, oh. She was like, yeah, but you never thought of it like that. And I was like, no, I didn't ever think of it like that. That's probably why you're a physio and I'm a duck. Oh. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Rachel, no, don't tell me you can't stand Intense Cafe for a second. I don't hate many frags, but that one is sickly gross. Nuclear puke. Pucular. That's right. Good man. Wonder how long he's known about Pavarotti. Oh, probably since I emailed him about 5 times about it. Bless him. It's probably taken him a while to get around to it. I imagine fragrance-wise, he's very busy. Alan Hansen, Baby Cat. I just can't. Just the idea of owning a fragrance called Baby Cat and someone. What happens if it smells really nice? Which it does smell kind of nice. It's vanillic, incensey sort of thing with suede. It's not going to change the world, but it is nice, pleasant, very pleasant. Am I going to buy it? No. But say you walk past someone, or you're like, you go out with a girl and she says, "Oh, I really love your aftershave. What you wearing?" And you're like, "Oh, baby cat." She's gonna stop holding your hand and walk off. Do you know what I mean? That's just what's happening. She might even take a high heel shoe off and try and attack you with it. You can't be wearing a bloody fragrance called Baby Cat, man, surely. Pradeep says, Killian has worse names. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Oh, God. Yeah, Killian does have absolutely shocking names, like. Enrique Vasquez says, Khalees Becker is the in-house perfumer of By Killian, like Back to Black, Intoxicated, Single Malt, and Straight to Heaven Extreme. Is that right? I didn't know that. Audrey Jane says, just waiting for Chanel to send me Sycamore. Outrageous. Have you bought it? Do you not want to buy Bois de Zile? I've got a bottle of that I'm trying to shift. H2O. Rachel says, Bob, I cannot. It gives me immediate migraine, but I do appreciate its coffee accord. Have you ever smelled Follow by Kerosene? What a coffee fragrance that is. The Acro one's really good as well. Awake. That's what it's called. That's a really good coffee fragrance. Drawn by Sense Nuclear Puke. What a great fragrance name that would be. Pucula. This Marbate's not bad. It's a creamy, like, animalic, musky sort of thing. It's got overtones of Musk Ravageur for me. Josiah Sanchez. Hey there, Rich. Hope you're well. I am well. How are you? FCM says, I do really love their YSL tuxedo from their high-end line. Do you know, I think I tried to smell that the other day. I like their noble leather, but it was just a fucking Tuscan leather. That was halfway between Tuscan leather and ombre leather. You know? Might as well just get Tuscan leather. It's good the whole hog. I'm going to have to dehydrate. Give us 2 minutes. Oh, I'll be back. Audrey Jane, don't let anyone leave. Oof. Aha, welcome, friends. Once again, I have returned to you. For I shall never leave you. Well, I might, but not now. Oh, where am I? I need to find out where I was. All right, Jill, have you tried Kerosene Follow? Supposed to be a realistic coffee. Haven't smelled it myself. Yes, it is. It's fantastic. Dumb name, but if it's good, then what's in a name anyway? Yeah, you just lie to people until it's called something else. I've tried to wear my 2 samples of Intense Cafe over the last 4 years. Scrub it each and every time. Just put one spray on from a distance. Dino says, is Zaharoff to back any good? Well, I've got to be honest, George Zaharoff is not my favourite person at the minute. That's another story. But Zaharoff Tobacco is good. I bought it, and it is a good fragrance. All these fragrances are made with like good quality ingredients. They're really well blended. I've got Signature, which is one of the best signature fragrances you can get. I've said this a few times before. If somebody came to me and said, could you recommend one fragrance for me to wear? I want to spend a little bit extra. I don't want Sauvage. I don't want Bleu de Chanel. I don't want Aventus. I want one fragrance that I can wear. I would suggest Signature by Zaharoff. It's a fucking great fragrance. It really is a good fragrance. Very well made. Very well. Very good ingredients. And at a very good price point as well. But like I said, not my favourite person at the minute. Do not like being falsely accused. I don't, I should say. Lol, Drone Kelly's Becker did some of the Navitus. Oh. Floral Note says, FCM, I like your perfume. What are you wearing? And then goes on to spell a fucking Welsh word. Or Jane says, I bet you drink Glen's, Duck. Honestly, I don't drink anything at the minute. Although I did have a pint of that Madry stuff the other day when I was waiting for my car to be fixed. And that is a nice pint, I must admit. I love kerosene follow. It's my go-to coffee, says Rachel. But of course, it is my go-to coffee as well. It's tremendous. I bought it from a shop called Rulia White. Great stuff. Sean says, vodka don't really give hangovers. No, it's very clean. It's very clean stuff. Any Glen will do, says Bob. Well, most of the time, FCM says, if someone asks what I'm wearing, I don't tell them anyway. Yes, small French lover. What? Yes, the naming conventions in perfume need to be, they could do with a little bit of work. Margie Noir says, I'm here. Sorry, I'm working, so just listening in. Who was at the door and what did they want, Margie Noir? If you don't mind us saying. Was it a giant hole? Spy and Mash, who are you kidding, Rich? Who am I kidding and why? Why Spy and Mash? Who am I kidding? Sean says, what's the best perfume value propositions in terms of quality and quantity? I think Chanel is a good show because 90% of everything out here smells like shit. Yeah, you know, I mean, you can get on taste for under 100 quid. Fucking what a fragrance that is. And they do their own reformulation. Chanel do their own reformulation, so they're fucking great. Perfume value propositions. Can you word that differently, Sean? I'm struggling to take that in. The best perfume value propositions in terms of quality and quantity. So you mean like Chanel? Yeah, you're probably right. Dior as well. I mean, with Tom Ford, quality and quantity. Like the word quantity weights your question there, because like quantity means that it's widely available. Stuff like Grey Vetiver and Noir Extreme. Tom Ford for men. Tom Ford Noir. Not even the private blend ones, just the normal ones. You know, Beau de Jour. Beau de Jour is available everywhere. These are great fragrances. Unfortunately, if you listen to the reports out there, Mr. Ford's looking to sell his business. I think his partner dying's knocked him back, knocked him for 6. Maybe he just doesn't want the responsibility, he doesn't want the hassle anymore, you know. But I agree with you, Sean. 90% of everything smells like shite at the minute. For every one good fragrance, there are 9 or 10 really shite fragrances. You're right. Ryan Day says, Rich, I have quite an English cider scrumpy story as well. 4th of July, 2 years ago, we had a good time, but I was ruined that night and following morning. Mate, I hate cider. I like apples, but I hate cider. Always makes us feel nauseous. Far too sweet. My God, the hangover was criminal. Margie Noir, Rich, which Profumum Roma did you say you liked? I love Patchouli by Profumum Roma, and I love Arso, ARSO. Smells like Feeling Agile, but not as good, but it's a big pine resin fragrance. It's beautiful. Sean, Tower, such a good brand, fabulous. Natalia says, I've heard there are human testers of vodka deciding if it tastes good. Yikes. Yuck. Stopped drinking alcohol a few years back. Why drink and drive when you can smoke and fly? Yeah, I kind of feel similarly. But I don't even do that anymore, to be honest with you. I'm pretty teetotal these days. But if I was going to do anything, I would smoke and fly. I've never drank and drove. I've done a lot of things in my life, but I've never drank and drove a car, I must admit. You want to act foolishly, but don't take other fucking people with you. It's not fair. Let's have a look. I'm going to take my tablets. The night is starting to set in. It's not light at 10 o'clock anymore. It's only been a month since the solstice. And the nights are already putting in a bit, as my mother would say. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Wow. Oh, good heavens. Where am I? Oh, I've moved the chat, sugar. Well, there's always room for another horse, says Drawn by Sense. I got a little one on the way from FX. Cheap and hopefully cheerful things. Happy days. Audrey Jane, yes, I actively relax with books. I've read over 20 this year. Not Mr. Men books either. What book was I going to recommend to Audrey Jane? Ooh. Let us think on. You might get a text in the middle of the night at some point where there's like recommending a book. 5 unopened, says Bob. That's like saving a Halloween candy till February. Yes, it is. I wouldn't have answered for him, Margie, but he's so behind again. I am behind, you're right. Active relaxing sounds good to me. That is how far I am behind. Hello, Jack Dean. How are you? You Great Britain folks, says Bob. Looking at getting a wood-burning stove as soon as possible. Yeah, I must admit, I've thought of getting a wood burner for a while, but it would cost a fucking fortune to convert the house. We've got a gas fire. We get like Calagas I don't know if you know what they are, but they're like bottles of gas. Because we've got a gas fire as well in case the lights go out. I figured you may have suggested, says FCM. Jack Dean, just watched your Chanel unboxing, Rich. Very good, thank you very much. I enjoyed your little unboxing the other day of Chanel as well, Jack Dean. Jack Dean got a rare and vintage Chanel. Tower's a great brand, says FCM. Ricky Tomatoes, Rich. Hello, Ricky. How are you doing? Audrey Jane says, I'm going to Selfridges tomorrow. Any suggestions on what to smell, guys? I'm going to Portugal on the weekend and want something for the heat. Oh, Christ, you're just going to Portugal? You could try Geranium Pour Monsieur by Frederick Malle. That's awesome. Or you could try those Chanel Les Eaux. I got the Biarritz Deauville's quite nice as well, actually. Hello, Rich in chat. Hello, Adam D. Alan Hansen, welcome. If you ever catch me with a girlfriend, I've got bigger problems than the bad perfume I'm wearing. Lol. Outrageous. Well, maybe as if you wore Baby Cat around West, maybe he would walk off, stop holding your hand. Ricky Tomato says, what do you think of Guerlain's On Sons Mythique? Love it. Office friendly? Maybe one spray. Crowd pleasing? I think people would say you smelled nice, but I don't think you would get the same reactions as you would from a Sauvage or a Bleu de Chanel. Or just for self-enjoyment. Very much for self-enjoyment, though. Chanel's releasing... Jack says, Chanel is releasing a limited edition of the Pure Parfum of Sycamore. Saw that. Audrey Jane sent us a picture in just 20 bottles worldwide. I wonder who'll get those. Mass release later on, hopefully. Hopefully, indeed. That'll smell amazing. I asked to smell Coromandel Pure Perfume at the counter yesterday, and they still haven't got a tester in, and I was gutted. They've got the bottles to sell, but they haven't got the X-ray. RJ Chanso Fresh, Flora Botanica. Audrey says to Ricky, if you can wear it at a coastal town, you will be blown away about On Sons Mythique. It takes you down to the depths of the water. Such a fantastic fragrance with that ambergris. Yeah, it's truly immense. Watch Jacob's review of it. He absolutely nailed the review of it. Audrey Jane, have you smelled the Pure Parfum of Gabrielle yet? I was at the Chanel counter buying that Paris Biarritz yesterday, and somebody bought that. I'm sure somebody bought that yesterday when I was there. It was a tiny little bottle. It was a tiny little box, right? And it was Gabrielle. Fosco says, I despise the Tuscan leather DNA. It's become a bit of a thing. Have you ever smelled Corpus Equus by Naomi Goodser, or Hyrax by la-di-da, what's it called? A Zoologist. I'm going to have to wear B again soon. I was thinking about it yesterday. Someone was talking about honey, but it hasn't got honey listed as a note. It's got ginger syrup. Thanks, Bobby. I've made a note. Lol, duck. So true. Audrey says to Jack, I haven't. I'm scared if it's not going to perform well on me with the notes. It should do if it's an X-ray. Newman, I despise you, Seinfeld. So that's tickled us. FCM says, I only like it in Tuscan leather and La Yucawan. The base is called Suederal. Oh, God. Is Rich doing a private unboxing? Oh, wait, he's back. A to Z says, I've got Ledger Desm on a can and it's good. What are the other ones in the range worth buying? Lone Star Memories, Rose Incense, Au Cours du Desert. Rachel says, Audrey, have you smelled Les Indomadables colognes? Maybe marketed to men, but I wear them all the time. Yeah, I've got them. I fucking absolutely love them. Rachel says, oh no, I've already asked that. Lone Star Memories is glorious. Give that a go, says Audrey. She's right. Peter says, dish the dirt on Georgie boy. Oh, God, it's a hell of a story. Like, it's not a hell of a story. I've said that. It's not a long story. It's just something happened last week, and I was not impressed. Because it sort of came from nowhere. And I always thought, I was under the impression I was on really good terms with George. Never said anything bad about him. Never thought anything bad about him. And him and Ross Carlos from TLTG, who I've never said anything about, never mind good or bad. I've literally never spoken about him before in my life. made... I mean, it wasn't the worst thing they were accusing us of, but they made false accusations, which were false, obviously, or there wouldn't be false accusations. And I was like, look, this is not me. And to be fair to Ross, he apologized, and I consider that over now. But yeah, I needed to cool off before any more of that. I'm just saying, not my favorite person at the minute, George. George Jane, cheers, enjoy the holidays. Don't stock by me, so can't purchase unless blind buy. Yes, that's right. I've got them. Audrey, do you know when we went to Manchester? You know the fragrance I was wearing that day? That was one of the Les Indomptables colognes. Rachel says, Audrey Jane, definitely check out Chalini if they have the line. Gorgeous. Best hot weather frag from their Paradis Provence. Audrey Jane says, have the duck got beef? The duck the duck does not have beef. It's not beef. It's I told them that it wasn't me. It wasn't true. It wasn't me. And they both seem to accept it. So I consider it over. I don't really want to drag it up and go on about it. But it was a little bit... I was surprised. I was shocked. I was shocked when I read it. But there we are. Hey, Jay, you don't like Chloe, do you? Or any girly girl frags? Rich, what about George Z? Sorry, I am absolutely months behind on the chat. I do apologize. I'll see if I can get through some of these and get to the end. Have the duck got beef? I'm trying to lay off the beef actually at the minute. Like, I've stopped eating steak and all sorts. Like, Madri is the flavor of the month for everyone at the minute. It's getting hyped, says Stephen. Yeah, you're right, it is. I did like Signature Sample, but wish it was a sprayer. Yeah, Signature's beautiful. It really is a fantastic fragrance. Audrey says, Rachel, thanks for the rec. We'll write it down in case they have any at the airport. Spill the tea. Spill the tea, says Fosco. I'll see if I can catch up to the comments here and I'll just, like, we can talk about the same thing at the same time. Bobby, I love those heavy sheep ras, the ones that make you violently sick. They certainly do make me that. Vodka is a happy buzz, as is sake. Yeah, I used to like that. Like, I was always a happy drunk. I was never a violent drunk. I hated violent drunks, people who got angry and that. It's like, sort yourselves out. To be honest, Bobby, I have some very feminine fragrance too. Oh, soir, Féminité du Bois. I don't think Féminité du Bois is a feminine fragrance. Right, it's very unisex. I suppose it's very unisex these days. It's one of the first uses of heavy woods in a female fragrance. The bottle's stunning. The original bottle. Absolutely glorious. Can't go wrong with 31 Rue Cambon. Can't go wrong with Rue Cambon. That rhymes, Peter. Quantity equals price per mil. Ooh, let us have a think. Drawn by sense. Rich, have you heard anything about anything's being discontinued, such as Tobacco Woods apparently being discontinued, certainly in the 100 mil. I'm the big boy bottle guy. Yep. Weird how that got leaked. Peter, yes. AJ, please do Saturday evening. Perfume application vid. Way aye, man. I eat manly scents. What's happening? Mitch, you just like a lot of popular foods out there. How about spotted dick? I'm not into dick, spotted or otherwise. Audrey Jane, Bobby, I might do a holiday in Portugal if I find a scheduled spot. Not sure about application. Manly sense says weed is legal here. Carrying 7 grams in the streets and owning 50 grams in your home. Little known fact. I didn't know that. It's just under 2 ounces. Oh, I must get 31 Rue Gabon. What? Me stream just dived out. I'm reading the chat and the stream just died out. So it's come back now. Hello, Omar. Eta Libra d'Orange, you or someone like you is nice for summer if you like mint or Jane. Well, I have got a massive Eta Libra d'Orange sample set to go through. But the next sample set I'm going through is going to be the Celines that Bri very kindly sent us because I've been promising them that I'm going to do them next for a while, and I feel like a bad man. Hello, Omar. Weed is legal here in Cali. Also, it's not legal here. You can use it from you can get it from official licensed fucking things if it's like prescribed by a doctor. You can get it for that kind of thing through like special private channels, private medical channels, but you can't be prescribed on the NHS. So it's a bit of a pig, really. Malta, Europe, orange even. Yeah, it's worth a smell. Book. Fosco just book. Jack Dean got Chanel channel. He did an unboxing on his audio channel, and it was very nice. Got very nice voice. I think you should put out more content like that, Jack. I would listen. I think I subscribed to that channel. What, Fosco? You don't like raspberry? I love raspberry. Had some raspberry. My mother made a gooseberry crumble tonight, and I put some raspberry yogurt on it. And it was a taste sensation. Angelique sur le pluie. I love it, says Omar. Yeah, Vampire Reads. That's right. Jack Dean's channel. It's very good. And his voice he's got a bloody good voice as well for it. Fosco says the raspberry leather smells good for a minute, but it's always followed by a massive headache. No, I understand that. Anybody knows if there was a noticeable difference between the original sheep Palatine and the reformulation? Pass. Somebody else would have to answer that. On average, Joe, welcome. B is outstanding, says Bry. What most recommended for men between 31 Rue Pambon, La Pausa, and Bois de Zile? I don't like Bois de Zile. It's got that kind of jasmine-y. It's a little bit sickly for me. Bosco says, yes, Natalia, both are great. Recent formulations aren't as heavy, but I kind of prefer it that way. I had both and sold the vintage. Headaches do suck. Yeah, I had a headache for no reason the other day. I was fucking raging. But I'm not sure if one can hate a perfume on that reason. Got to consider the sillage around the spray point, etc. Go very much lighter. Private unboxing, not to be confused with unboxing privates, says Alan. Go to jail for unboxing your privates in certain places. Don't do it outside of school, for God's sake. Fosco, Yucaturan says the machine made La Pausa. Ooh, and his reference is the Michael Edwards database. Can you imagine? I wonder how Eugene would feel about that. He'd probably, I don't know how Eugene would take that kind of news. Maybe we should just all agree not to let Eugene know that. I don't want him to get upset. Pradeep says, are Chanel parfums really wear that thicker than the ADPs? Tested some and not convinced. Boy, they are expensive. No, mate, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take the pure parfums, put them on your pulse points, and then top them up with the EDPs. You spray the EDPs over the top of them. That is my understanding. Natalia, a huge difference to me in the reformulation of CP. Contrasting information. Pradeep, I only find they work if layered with an EDP or an EDT. There you go. What did the live stream say about Eugene's frag? Which one? Which live stream? Rachel says certain synthetic woody and arbor materials can activate the trigeminal nerve and cause headaches. These are commonly used as base notes. Some people get headaches later on if overdosed right away. Oh dear. Yeah, I guess so. Tested on the wrist, as essay suggests, we can't smell much of anything. Natalia says, Rachel, I'm torn between good old Rochas Femme I could probably acquire from a nerd and CP. I miss the animalic dirty aspects and perfume. I've got some fucking outstanding Femme de Rochas. It's fucking class. Or Rochas Femme, it should be said. Probably, I wish I could coach you on that. Catherine Imoff might possibly say yes. Her Coromandel, she also describes as so smooth. I'd love to dab Chanel Extrait of Allure Sensuelle, says Bob. Adam says to Audrey Jane, never split the difference by Christopher Voss and Talraz. You're welcome. Bon voyage. Oh, that behind the knees action so sexy, unless you weren't wearing a dress, of course. Roddy seems to Bob, maybe it's just me. Vintage number 5 EDT costs stronger than the current Parfum. For me, vintages will do that. My friend from London pronounces it as raspberries. Raspberries, says H2O. No, we need Lewis in here. He's got that kind of accent. Fosco says, Rachel, do you really get that much of a difference? I thought it was slight enough to chalk up to aging. My bottle's like 45 years old now. Dusan Ninich says, Shipra Palatana is reformulated according to Kafkaesque. You can read his article. I hope I've pronounced your name there, Dusan. Audrey says, yes, Natalia. I sometimes spritz on my paddle brush and brush through my hair. Going to do it tonight with Le Bleu. Hi, Rich Chat. Hello, Westernwood. How you doing? Did you get your sample in yet, mate? Sent of the day, Monsieur de Givenchy. Rachel says, Bosco, I do. You made a great point about aging. I have a second-hand bottle and I don't know how it was stored. Perhaps mine was exposed to sunlight, but yes, I find them quite different. Bob says, oh, regarding Rochas Femme, Russian Adam Eugene Love, you have to get the OG or the current cheap bottle is good. I would go with the OG, mate. That strikes me as the type the ingredients would make a huge difference in how that smells. Audrey Jane, what is your thoughts on Diaghilev, says Dushan. Any word on if MFK is going to bring back Mitza? I would doubt it, based on the fact that he's gone back to the original 3 and discontinued a shitload of the Damashis. I would have thought that he's going to make his own stuff, so you could probably expect an Amber in that line, but it'll be his own Amber. Rochas Femme is divine. Fosco says that's why it's good to get multiple opinions. Natalia Rachel knows her perfume, so I guess try and sample both. Dino says my uncle had some beef with Phil Foden's brother today. You seen the state of Phil Foden's mother? You wouldn't like to punch off her, like she's a big woman. Rachel says I have 6 bottles of vintage Rochas Femme from different decades. If you have time to do some research, to do some searching, I've never paid over $60 for any bottle of vintage. Lots and lots out there. Rachel knows her champagnes also, says Bob. Dushan, I have no Russia in my collection. You mean Roger? Someone tried the new Eau Noir Cologne Blanche Bois d'Argent? Not yet. I'd love to, though. I might go in tomorrow and have a bit search. Let's go and have a look. Richie G has spurned my advances. I've been asking him to come to go smelling with us, and he keeps palming us off. He's a bad man. He has been ripping up the floorboards, though. He's getting a new boiler, bless him. I have a sample of the current formulation of Femme, and it's not really good. I get the idea of it, but after smelling Diaghilev, I want something more. Mitza, I believe, is the only polished fragrance in the Privé line. Say Speed Wolf. Welcome, Speed Wolf. Bosco says Kafka-esque is not a he, but you'll just find just as many people say the opposite. That article drew a lot of controversy back in the day. Adam D says, today I received a love letter from Royal Mail, going to pick it up tomorrow. Does that mean you'll have 2 samples, Adam? Or is that just did I not resend you one? I can't remember. You're welcome to have both, though. It was my mistake. Dropped an absolute bollock. The fact it's taken them 2 weeks to get in touch with you is a fucking bastard. I can't believe they've done that. Understood, Mahalo, Natalia. Fosco lol. Audrey Jen says Richie G only likes shopping with me. That's right. Won't come shopping with us. The shit. And Diaghilev is similar to Fem. Didn't get that. Natalia Makowska. I've already read that comment, sorry. I wonder if we have quite different smelling equipment. Lol, friend. Bob says Fem then. Smells like Mitsuko. I like Mitzi. I don't think it smells like that. I think Fem's quite original. I think Feminite Dubois has got a touch. I mean, it's probably the plum. I like plum in a fragrance. Gives depth, but like a fruitiness and a sweetness too. Dushan says, Rich Mitch, what do you say about Hugo Boss number 1? I'll tell you what I say about Hugo Boss number 1. It's fantastic. I love it. Do you agree with Ramsey after he told you to buy it? I do agree with Ramsey after he told me to buy it. It's tremendous. I've got the vintage. I've got about 4 or 5 bottles of the vintage now. And I intend to wear that this winter. Piss. It's got a pissy civet and it's a lot like Givenchy Gentleman, the original one. Patchouli, pissy civet kind of thing. Fantastic. What a masculine fragrance. Tomorrow I will have 1 sample. Cheers, Rich. You've been a star. Oh, I'm sorry it's taking so long to get to you, mate. Dino Baggio says he thinks he's Billy Big Bollocks. He ran over my uncle's cat and killed it when he was on holiday. The fucking little bastard. My uncle knocked on his house as soon as he came home. I hope he slapped him. What a fucking dickhead. Wants to watch himself. Feminite is your plum and Mitsuko is so green. Bob says, Richard, I must say again that you need 1 or 2 more wrench mods in this chaotic theatre. Eugene is extra busy, it seems, and Heinz probably got another dog. I don't know where the fuck Heinz has been. He hasn't showed up for a while. Natalia says, Riders of the Lost Parfum de Toilette. I've got that. I've got the Parfum de Toilette version of Femme de Rocha, so I hope you're talking about that one. I'll do. I've got about 3 different versions of it. Excuse me. Fuck's sake. Excuse me. Dusan says, thanks, Rich. I will buy vintage number 1 without name on the bottle. Yeah, it's fantastic. Bryce says, see, you like pissy civet, but no pissy florals, lol. Well, yes. I do. I don't like pissy florals. There he is. Eugene is here. Bob, I see you. Heinz, where have you gone? I think I bullied Hines away for not being able to do spanner duties properly. Yes, you've scared him off. FCM says we go to Napa yearly. Winery hopping. Buzz driving all day. Outrageous. Lily is my hero, says Audrey Jane. Hines told me to slow down once. Were you going too fast for him? Bloody useless Hines. What's he like, eh? Oh, how long have we been going for? Let's have a look. Let us have a look. We'll go for another 20 minutes. And then we'll stop. Oh. Speedwolf says, I'm so thankful I let you and Ramsey influence me to buy a full bottle of Monsieur. I've grown to absolutely love it. Fantastic. I'm glad you love it, Speedwolf. I like your picture as well. It does look like a speedy wolf. I'm so thankful I let you and Ramsey influence. Was that Frederick Moore's Monsieur? We're not talking like Monsieur de Givenchy or anything like that. I think the key to being influenced, right, is to find people whose tastes are quite similar to yours, but also, right, to find somebody who can like expand your horizons as well. That one of those people for me was Robes Away. When I first started watching like YouTube reviews and stuff like that years and years ago, Robes Away, Scentland, Robes Away, Scentland. I mean, Eugene as well, to be fair. Eugene sort of came a bit later, though. You know, when I was getting into like more sort of like niche and excuse me. More sort of like niche is not a word. Frederick Nietzsche? No. When I was getting into like more niche stuff. So yeah. Well, a few people, I think you've got to take responsibility for allow who you allow to influence you. Find people with the most knowledge, not the most subscribers. You'll find people with the most subscribers are usually like they've got the most subscribers because most people subscribe to them for entertainment, in inverted commas, air quotes. They're not necessarily the people who know the most. They're the people who provide like the lowest common denominator sort of thing, you know. Excuse me. Somebody knows where it is today. Christopher Chong. I don't. I don't have Instagram, so I don't know. Kafka-esque is a lawyer. They write really well, to be fair. Audrey says, "Oh wow, I'm feeling the weight of my new responsibilities. Big tool." Thanks, Eugene. Dino says, my uncle did want to fight him. He said he wasn't driving. So my uncle said, get the guy who was driving. He wants an apology and can pay for the vet bills. The area he lives in is a close. No need to speed. Fuck's sake. Don't think I've ever hit a cat. I've hit, no. Audrey looks good in blue, says Lily. Yes, Frederick Mall, monsieur. Aha. You do realise I'm only available from July to September, Doc. It's all right. It's okay. You can do it as like a summer job. Them is fantastic, says FCM. Dusan, you're welcome, but for what? Says Eugene. Audrey says, be right back, just going to block Dura Rose. Much needed. What are your thoughts on Dawn by Frederick Mall? It's the only one of the Desert Gems I haven't got. And I won't be buying it either. Not interested. Don't think it's very good at all. It's probably the worst of the four. Hey, Rich. Hey, Benyat, how you doing? Eugene influenced me to go to church, says Floral Notes. FCM says, I wonder if Robes will ever come back. I don't know, man. Maybe not to YouTube. I know he's been active on Instagram because people have told us, but yeah. Dino says, don't hear of the Fragrance Apprentice anymore. He's busy making his film. Speedwolf says, when are we going to see a Rich Mitch Ramsey Scentland live stream? I can't imagine a better panel for discussing vintage fragrances. Why, thank you. Well, news. Breaking news. Tomorrow, I think me and Ramsey are going to do a stream. I'm going to get him to try and operate around my kind of time because I can't be starting at the times that him and Rush and Adam started. But me and Ramsey are going to do a vintage live stream tomorrow. Just talking about vintages, really. And yet says, what's happening with the bubbles? Has the world stopped? I don't know. Sometimes the bubbles just crash. You know? Sometimes the bubbles just absolutely crash. And they just sit there and do nothing. But the audio continues. Western Nude has sent me an email for which I will have to reply after the stream. So, interesting. One moment, please. What colour will the wedding dress be, Lily? Drawn by Sense says, yes, I never would have thought of wearing feminine perfumes a couple of years ago, but have certainly come to love many of them now, including Roche Femme, of course. Take me to church, Eugene, says FCM. Dushan says, where Rich Mitch goes to Singapore, it becomes Singer Rich. Oh, very good. I think Eugene fancies floral, says Bob. Eugene, pure white. Eugene, how do you like your older bottle of Femme? Says FCM. Eugene fancies everyone, says Floral Notes. I got your email, Western Nude. I'll send you another one out, mate. Don't think. Benyat says, don't you think Kurdijan's best job is Narciso for him, EDT? Ooh, could be au noir, you know. I think it could be au noir. I'm struggling to think of one better. Oud Satin. I've said Oud Satin Mode. That's a silly thing to say. Absolute Paula Soir, maybe. I don't know. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of perfumes. Can't think of one better than Au Noir, I must admit. Like we says, think Uncle Serge is getting on the duck act with his Coffee de Parfum range. That brand's doing a fucking the Serge Luton's going to fucking mental. They're releasing far too much stuff. They need to be careful, like. Rachel says exactly. Or at least people whose tastes I understand well enough to compare reliably to your own. Yeah, exactly. Robes was a huge influence on my perfume taste. I shall not deny it. As was Scentland. Cough, itchy throat. I've been talking for a couple of hours. We can multitask, says FCM. Dina says, are there any fragrances you have had low expectations for but turned out to be good? Yes, but I can't think of any now. I'd have to go and look at my I'd have to go and look at my collection to see if anything jumped out. Oh, I'll tell you one. Elizabeth Taylor's Passions for Men. I got a vintage bottle of that. It was very nice for what it is. When we all going to London, says Audrey Jane. My medical situation is improving. So I'm getting established on the poison, which I take on a Thursday night. And once I'm up to the required dosage, the side effects should start to plateau and then start to come down. So probably within a couple of months, I should be able to go about some business without feeling terrible all the time, hopefully. Benyat says, oh no, true. Yes. FCM says, wish I can go to Europe and raid the boutiques with the euro on par with the dollar. Get it done, get a passport, get yourself over. Bosco says, Kurdijan's best work was for MDCI, in my opinion. You see, I've tried some MDCIs, and I've got to be honest, I was not impressed. I've tried a couple of things. What else? What have I tried? I tried the leather one. Or was it a suede one? Garamanti? Barber de Tangiers, which I thought was shit. Was it Burnham Barbershop? Wasn't a fan of that either. Come to Maui, AJ. We'll get a crowd. Rich, love you. No problem. Send us your email again. Did you send? What's new? Did you send us your? Did you send me your address again recently? Sure, I've sent out another sample to you. Send us your address again. Thanks, Audrey Jane. Would be outrageous. Hawaii is so expensive for us to travel to, Bobby, says Audrey. Benyat says, from his line, my favorite is Absolute Paul Soir. I don't know that I've got that one. Speedwolf says, recently been watching Sense of South Jersey's channel. It's a great channel. He has great taste in vintages. He certainly does. 4-1 Note says, Bob, why are you sending me to the cold and I can get to your sandy beaches? Benyat says, but his best works are out of his line, in my opinion. Yeah, that's always the thing everyone says about it. He does his best work for other people, doesn't he? That Eli Saab line was meant to be terrific. It was meant to be brilliant, and I never smelled one of them. Oh, God. I never smelled one of them and I was dying to. They just weren't available. What a kick in the boobs. FCM. Audrey says to FCM, last time we went, I got nose blind by 3 p.m. We had smelled hundreds of fragrances. Is that going to London or was that when we met up? Because we did smell hundreds of fragrances that day. It was outrageous. No expectations, love it. Today's formulation. Yeah. I'm Lewis. Welcome, Lewis. We were talking about you earlier. We were talking about raspberries and how people from down south pronounce raspberries or raspberries. Raspberries. I'm glad you are here, Lewis. It is nice to meet you. Benyat says, what do you think about Dioro Sauvage, the Elamy one? Do you want to know a secret? Something outrageous, which you would never expect me to say. Right? I actually prefer the 2017 version to the 2012 version of Eau Sauvage Parfum. Absolutely despicable lovers. I should hand in my vintage lovers card immediately. It's an outrageous statement. Who on earth do I think I am? But it's true. I actually prefer the Elamy one to the Myrrh one. Excuse me whilst I yawn. Sorry about that. Good evening, fella. Good evening, fella, to you again, Lewis. Oh, Sauvage is great, says Dusa. I got nose fatigue quick, says FCM. Sucks. Your box storage situation is deteriorating. Vintage poison, says Fosco. I know someone who's got vintage poison. It's Audrey Jane. I need to break down my frag boxes, says FCM. My garage storage can't take any more. Honestly, I'm starting to think I'm running out of space. It's outrageous. Just got a vintage Gianfranco Ferre for men. Great stuff, says Speedwolf. It is great stuff. It's not my favorite vintage fragrance, though, I must admit. It's nice, but I don't have the love. I don't have the love for it that everyone else does. It's one of those strange vintage fragrances. I'm betraying myself again, aren't I? That's right, Westernood. Yeah, I've just got your email again, mate. Sorry. Do you own Fahrenheit cologne? Yes, I do. What's your thoughts? Not huge on it. Wish I hadn't bought it. I've got Aqua as well. I got them cheap, though. Got them both for like 40 quid each. And I would probably sell the pair of them, to be honest with you, for like a similar price. Aqua Fahrenheit smells a bit like Narciso Rodriguez for him, Eau de Toilette, which somebody mentioned very short time ago. Audrey says, vintage Poisson is my weakness. I apply it and it's on my skin for days. Alan Hansen says to Enrique, I own Fahrenheit Absolute. Yeah, it's fucking one of the best flankers ever made of any perfume. One of the few perfumes for which I own a backup bottle. Yeah, I've got a backup bottle of that as well. It's absolutely great. I remember Robes Awaits review, man, where he said it was the devil's juice, and he's spot on. That's what the devil smells like. Incensey, sweet, dark, dangerous. Fantastic. FCM says, I have a toddler, pain in the ass to travel. Maybe another year. The trip I had to Thailand in May was draining. Yeah, with the humidity and the heat. A couple of mates went traveling to Thailand and they were like fucking unbelievable. They were like, you'd walk up the street like 100 yards and then you'd have to pop into a shop for the air conditioning just to like recover. Wish Fahrenheit Aqua and Absolute was still available. FCM, I'd sell you my Aqua. Fosco says every perfumer does the best work for other people. It's an interesting point. So it is an interesting point, that. And it makes you wonder why. Let's have a look. Alan Hansen, is that vintage Fahrenheit Absolute? There is only one Fahrenheit Absolute. If you find Fahrenheit Absolute, that is the Fahrenheit Absolute. There's only one. It only had one run. Floral Notes says Lewis. FCM says Poison and Cocoa, my mom's signature scents. I find the 2017 Eau Sauvage more citrusy, says Sean. Oh. Alan says to Doosan, so far as I know, all Fahrenheit Absolute is vintage since it was discontinued before it was ever reformulated. Yeah, there's only one formulation. Fosco makes sense in a way. Yeah. Benyat says, is there any hope here for Gaultier 2? I don't know. They're re-releasing that. I heard that. I've got a bottle of the original, just a 60 ml. Or a 40 ml, I should say, but it is actually quite nice. It's not bad. You can tell it's a Coeur de Jean. It smells like a Maison Francis Coeur de Jean, like one of his own fragrances. But from a few years, not with the palette that he worked with on his own brand. Omar says, is the Boss number one you were talking about the before called number one version? I am seeing one for 30 USD now. So it doesn't have number one on the box. Ramsey is the authority on this. He'll be able to tell you which one to go for. The one you're seeing, it sounds like the one that it sounds like just a modern version. Apparently, it's been discontinued. Would love to hear your take on Poison in a video, Audrey. Say, Audrey, the people demand your return. Vintage Dior women's perfume is fire, says Dino. Vintage Poison is intoxicating. That's the idea, isn't it? Legoist, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Bob's trying to cross the line, saying he loves Sauvage and always will. Audrey says, I honestly think I could never do it justice, Lily. It's like how the duck feels about Balenciaga pour on. Yeah. I've got 3 vintage bottles, another vintage flankers of it, and it's just out of this world. Did you get the soap as well? Dino says it's hard to find pure malt these days for a good price. It's fucking impossible. When you think that fragrance used to go for 50 mil, go for 50 quid for 100 mil, and it was everywhere. And you just can't find it for love nor money now. And you certainly can't find it for under 100 quid. Like, not the Thierry Mugler version. The Mugler version, maybe, but not the Thierry Mugler version. I think I've only got 1 bottle of that, maybe 2. Understandable, Audrey. Benyat says, fuck, I've never smelled Fahrenheit Absolute. I've been digging for a sample for so long. So Absolute has incense. What else separates it? Myrrh. Yeah, it's got myrrh in it too. Those Mugler were so affordable for so long. Yeah, it's very difficult when you've grown with a fragrance, when you've seen a fragrance go at retail and then be discontinued and watch the prices just go through the roof. It's very difficult to bring yourself to buy the prices at those inflated prices. It's much easier to just come into the market and see the prices of the fragrances as they are and just say, well, it must be worth that, so I'll buy it. You know, when you've seen a fragrance go for like 50 quid and now people are wanting like 150 quid for a bottle of Old Purple, you're like, whoa, what? Behave. Fosco makes a very good point here. Most trained musicians can play other people's work beautifully. Only a small percentage can actually create. No, I agree. Absolute smells of a spice rack also. It's got spiciness in it. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a whole spice rack. Myrrh for Fahrenheit? Yeah, there's myrrh in the Fahrenheit Absolute. And I think it has got an oud note as well. It's not actual oud. So Alan Hansen's right, yeah. Or did you just say it's Fahrenheit? I feel like FOMO with the Absolute. It's very good. Dino says they don't even do the 250ml of tobacco oud either. Yeah, they never did. They never did. I heard Sebastian say that he bought one the other day, and I was like, Sebastian, I don't think they ever made a tobacco oud in 250ml, mate. Yeah, I've got vintage poison soap. See, I like that. I've got an Egoist soap, and I just smell that. It's fucking glorious. Fosco hadn't ever thought about it like that, but it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I love the added sweetness in Fahrenheit Absolute. I found a FOMO 2 bottles on eBay, then sold one to Rudy. Now I feel a little uneasy. FCM says I sold Ultra Zest for a lot. I bought a bottle of Ultra Zest, but I've never worn it in the summer. I don't think I would. It's just the idea of wearing any Amen in the summer is ludicrous, really. Old Bob, good friend. Audrey doesn't mess around, says FCM. I'm thinking of taking vintage Nahima to Portugal. Lord. Taking a wee to Bakelite? Or Bakelite, it should be called, really, shouldn't it? Dushan says Creed Royal Oud is actually Royal Cedar. Yeah, essentially. Royal Galbanum, really. FCM, do you have a Seamaster? Love it, but not the bracelet. Dino says, I didn't know they never did it. I checked the website because I love tobacco oud. Seriously, mate, you want to be able to sell a bottle of tobacco oud like double time. That shit is going out of fucking, like, it's going out of fucking, it's selling out everywhere, seriously. It's going the same way as Amber Absolute. What if I add myrrh and oud to a decant of Eau de Toilette Fahrenheit? You'd probably be better off adding it to Fahrenheit Le Parfum. Animal is meant to be similar to Pure Havana, although I've never tried it. Wouldn't it be too green for that heat duck? Possibly. But then the Hema would be too powdery. Or it could be too powdery. Looking to get Royal Oud, though, says Floral Notes. Oh no, be careful. FCM says, Bob, I have the blue and white SMP 300. Both I wear on NATO. That's a Keiko. Oh my god, you can keep that word. Uncle Seiko tapered bracelet or the rubber. Royal Oud, I urge you to buy. Try, says FCM. Outrageous, says Bob. No such thing as too much powder, says Audrey. My sweet Audrey Jane, can I see you again? Mick Jagger, says Dusan. Dusan's singing in the chat. Anyway, on this note, I am going to go. It has been well over oh no. Yeah, it has been well over 10 hours. 2 hours even. I am tired. Do you know I'll do that right now? Thank you very much, mate. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and taking part and keeping me company. Thank you to everybody who liked and commented and watched and lurked. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you, everyone. I will see you soon. Bye.